Before we get into this video, there's quite a few things I have to share with you guys. It's going to be a little bit long for the people that have no interest in this and just want to see the game. You're probably going to want to skip to around the 2-minute mark and that'll take you straight to the game. But first, I wanted to say thank you guys so much for watching my channel. Thank you guys so much for being subscribed. You guys don't know how much that means to me. And even more importantly, I want to say thank you to everybody that actually has decided to join my Discord. Excuse me. Now, for the people that don't know, we did start a Discord yesterday, and it is freaking awesome. You guys have mingled very well. We started a pretty good community now. I will be posting my schedule on that Discord and telling you guys when I make videos, so you guys can necessarily help with the videos itself, help with the combos, help with stuff, and then possibly even get a shout out from the TheCaliEffect himself. So I really appreciate you guys' help, and you guys are helping make the channel better in so many different ways. But speaking of Discord, I also will be posting my stream times on that Discord server, so you might want to watch out. I do stream a lot of Overwatch. I'm also going to start streaming a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! As well. And another thing I want to point out, because like I said, it is a lot of other things, is that you guys are just freaking awesome, and I want to thank out all of my Patreons. Without you guys, we would not be possible. The last thing I want to point out is that this game in particular isn't necessarily like a real game. Me and Drizzy J Roberts, I call him Drizzy J Roberts, we've been playing around with both the Spyral and the Sky Striker quite a bit ago, and this was just a game that I wanted to throw up to give you guys some Sky Striker gameplay. I actually did wind up changing the deck a little bit because of this, and those changes are in the comment section inside of the deck profile for Sky Strikers. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, check out that Twitch, check out that Patreon, check out that Discord, and we'll be streaming in all of those platforms. I hope to see you guys there. Without further ado, let's get into that video. Good evening, YouTube. You guys are now watching another segment of TheCaliEffect, King of Games. And today, you guys are going to be watching an epic match between Sky Striker, me piloting Sky Striker, and Drizzy J Roberts piloting Spyral Knightmare. Now, this game, like I said before, was just a test game. It was literally just us messing around with the decks, just having fun with each other. And Jesse's actually going to test me. He's like, yeah, CaliEffect, I know you ain't been playing a long time, so let me try to discard this trap card for one front. I'm like, nah, homie, that's not how I go. Got to discard that monster. Already keeping me on my toes, and that's why I like playing Drizzy J Roberts. He's going to try to do stuff just to irritate me, and I'm like, boy, you better stop with that. And again, this is just a really fun game, and I just decided to throw it up because I still think you guys can learn from this Sky Striker matchup and how Spyral could operate around it if they do. Now, Drizzy J Roberts is going to make a really, really good board, and he's playing a going second Spyral build. If you guys want to see the deck profile, I'm pretty sure it hasn't really changed much from what you guys have seen on my channel, so boop, here's the list, and go ahead and check out what you guys are seeing there. He did get 3rd place inside of a huge level event, and he's continued to top with Spyrals every single time he picks up the deck. This time around, he is attending LA, my only sponsor player, and he's going to top with a different deck. Can't really reveal it to you guys yet. I want you guys to actually, when you see him, go ahead and greet him. He's an awesome guy. So Drizzy J Roberts is going to be opening up with an awesome, and I mean awesome, Spyral board. And again, he's going to make Nightmare Goblin to discard a card from his hand to gain the additional normal summon of another Spyral monster. This time it's going to be Spyral Super Agent. Then he's going to make Nightmare Nightmare Mermaid to discard a card from his hand to the graveyard to spell summon Ibli to his side of the field. Now, I don't necessarily think that he's going to make a firewall, but I don't like where he places the firewall. I'm not sure if he had any other options, or if it's like he has to, but he's going to go ahead and place the firewall in the extra monster zone, which gives me an open zone, which means extra linking is completely out of the question. Again, I think I'm pretty good at Spyral. I'm no Spyral expert like Drizzy J, but maybe it was just how his hand or how the combination of cards were going. He had to put the Firewall Dragon in his extra monster zone. So he's going to continue to link off for the Tri-Gate Wizard, and then like we're like, wait, you definitely did something wrong right here, because now you can't make those 2 monsters. You only have the ability to make 1 additional monster. And I'm like, he's like, I might have to go back a little bit just to fix this up. I'm like, sure, perfectly, go fine. And local level events, you really want or in an event where you guys want to be better, or in a testing environment like we're doing now, you guys should definitely allow players to mentally process what's going on. Of course, you want to give them that input because you don't want them to make that mistake at a high level event, but you also want them to make the best board so you can get the full testing in. Because if you're allowing your opponent to make mistakes and not helping them correct their mistakes inside of a playtesting situation, or if you're just taking advantage of that, you're cheating yourself. You're not getting the testing that you need. So Drizzy J is going to make this awesome board, Tri-Gate Wizard, and it's going to be pointing to 2. He's going to make double Helix and then link summon again for a Nightmare Phoenix. And then this is what we started to realize, maybe Nightmare Goblin should be played in multiples inside this deck. And the reason behind it is because if this board was made pointing to a Nightmare Goblin, I wouldn't be able to break it. I'm going to start off with Twin Twisters destroying the Spiral Resort. And now Drizzy J is with a interesting conundrum. He's going to have to negate it because now his Spiral Sleeper can be targeted by card effects, which is something that you don't necessarily want, because once Spiral Sleeper gets destroyed, then it is a entirely different problem. It's going to wipe his entire board. I'm going to activate Toon Table of Contents, and then it's going to follow up with another Toon Table of Contents to my 3rd copy of Toon Table of Contents, and now we're going to get this Sky Striker deck rolling. And if you guys want to see more Duel videos like this, go ahead and destroy that like button. Let's see if we can get to the last video, 5,000 views, 150 likes. I really appreciate you guys. You guys would be nothing less of amazing. So now Drizzy J is pretty much locked me out, and Ibly is a really good card against the Sky Striker archetype, mainly because I wouldn't have been able to activate my Sky Striker cards if I have Ibly on my side of the field. I have to extra link it into the Mermaid. I'm going to start off with Afterburner to destroy the Firewall Dragon, since it's the biggest threat, and Nightmare or Spiral Sleeper can't be targeted just yet. And since Afterburner did destroy a card, and I have 3 spell cards in my graveyard, I can destroy a spell or trap card, so I'm going to be able to out the Spiral Resort anyways. And now here is a little bit of a misplay. I'm going to go ahead and activate Aerospace, and Roberts is going to counter with the Sleeper to destroy the Aerospace. So Aerospace other effect is going to trigger, and he's all like, what do you mean? What do you mean its other effect is going to trigger? He didn't know that. It's special summon Sky Striker Ace Ray to my side of the field, which is pretty good. Allows me to make, allows me to have some board presence. Now, here's where I start to make my misplay. It does go unnoticed because I'm going to use both of my monsters to make the Nightmare Cerebus, and it's going to point to the Tri-Gate Wizard. I'm going to use Cerebus effect to discard a card to destroy a special summon monster to my opponent's side of the field. And if I didn't co-link it with the Tri-Gate Wizard, his monsters would be destroyed, but it's something that we just completely overlooked, that Nightmare Cerebus was co-linked to the Tri-Gate Wizard, which was co-linked to the Nightmare Phoenix, so his monsters wouldn't have been destroyed, and he would have been able to special summon, unless it said, and if you do, I'm not 100% sure on Spiral Sleeper's text right now, but we're gonna, if I would have played it to the other zone, we would have the exact same result. I'm gonna start off with Brandish Engage, and Engage is extremely powerful in this deck, probably the most powerful card in the entire game right now, because not only does it give you a search, it gives you a draw. It is literally a pot of greed to the Sky Striker archetype. I'm going to attack the Nightmare Cerebus into the Spiral Sleeper, taking damage, and then I'm going to trigger my Ace Ray to special summon Gagari in my extra monster zone. Gagari is going to add another Engage, and then I'm going to attack over the Spiral Sleeper. Main phase 2, I'm going to activate Engage to get Window Anchor from my deck to my hand, and then draw another card. I'm telling you guys, it isn't worth $100 if you ask me. Engage is not worth $100 because of the set that it's coming, but at the same time, it's like, it is an extraordinarily powerful card. I'm going to follow up with Shizuku on my end phase, using its effect to search another Sky Striker spell card, which is going to be Horn Bit from my deck to my hand. He's going to go ahead, Robert's going to go ahead and start off with Spiral Tough, and I'm going to use Window Anchor to take the Spiral Tough before he can gain its effects. So that did 2 things for me. Not only can he not use Spiral Tough to see the top card of my deck and destroy my monster on the field, possibly, he can't follow up with a double Helix play because now he only has 1 monster, 1 out. So he's going to pass his turn. I'm going to give him the Spiral Tough back. And now I am able to disrupt his board. This is actually where, Sky Strikers have the biggest problem, is being able to special summon a monster to your side of the field that can get rid of itself and still is really strong, which is why Darkness Diablos is so powerful inside of this deck. It's a 3,000 beater, non-targetable, and he can get rid of himself from the field to the graveyard, as well as provide hand disruption for my opponent. So this card's just really good. It's extraordinarily powerful, but without it, the Sky Strikers don't have enough attack to just whittle down the opponent. As you guys can see, I'm just stuck with Kagari on my side of the field, winding him down. We don't have Needle Fiber just yet. We also don't have a Summon Sorceress legal to us. So I'm going to stay true to that and just sit here with a Sky Striker Kagari on my side of the field, which is a pretty decent attack, but not enough to completely dominate the opponent. Summoning multiple monsters isn't this deck's thing. So now I'm going to go ahead and use my Aerospace, and that's going to get my my other Sky Striker card from my deck to my, or from my field to my graveyard. I completely forgot this card's name right now. It's not, it's such a decent card. It doesn't really do much for the Yu-Gi-Oh deck. I think it's a one-of, which is why I changed so much of the deck, because I drew both of them, and I'm like, what am I doing with this card? It just doesn't do anything until the very late game. I'm going to activate Engage, draw another card, as well as search another card, and I'm just whittling down Mr. Roberts' life points. Now, if this deck was a little bit stronger, or if I can summon Darkness Diablos, the game would be a lot different, because I'd be able to sustain a lot of damage on the board. But that's not the case for this Sky Striker deck right now. He's going to go ahead and evenly match me on the battle phase. And let me tell you how useless evenly match is against Sky Strikers. I'm looking at him, I'm like, okay, I can lose this board. I literally just said, okay, I can lose this board. This board isn't like, it isn't going to hurt me. It's not going to do anything. And he's all like, what do you mean? I just evenly matched you for 3. I'm like, no, it doesn't hurt. He's going to summon Spyral Tough and use this effect. I'm completely forgetting that Pseudo Space has a, it's basically Spiral Resort right now, so I can't target his Spiral monsters. He's going to go ahead and destroy my Window Anchor, which would have been destroyed regardless, and now he's going to try to make another great board with his Spiral monsters. I think he's going to use Tough and Super Agent to make his double Helix effect, to special summon a monster from his, oh no, Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring is going to be used on his double Helix, and that is pretty nasty. He's going to go ahead and pass his turn back to me. We already know I have another Ash Blossom. I'm going to activate Mobilize Engage, destroy the his Pseudo Space, and he's just going to go ahead and scoop it up. He saw that obviously I can advantage him. He kind of lost a lot of his advantage when I broke his board that second time, and we're already in game 2 because there was nothing much else. Now, granted, this deck can pretty much outgrind me right now. Until we get Needle Fiber, until I can start consistently putting Diablos into the graveyard, this deck, Spyro, can outgrind Sky Striker. And that's why I feel that this deck might not have the results that we think it will have at LA. It's still a possibility, but in this game too, Jesse's going to go ahead and Ogre my Aerial Space and then Ash the summon. Now, I don't think that wasting 2 hand traps on 1 card is optimal, but again, we're still in that testing phase. We're trying to see, okay, what card works, what card doesn't work, what gets around what, you know what I mean? Like, it's really hard to see what certain cards can do certain things. So he's definitely in that testing phase, trying to figure out what to Ash and Ogre. Unfortunately, I don't think Aerospace is one of them, because I'm going to activate Hornbit to make the Kagari, and then follow up with an Engage. The Engage is going to be added, and then the Engage to add and draw another card. So this deck is still really good. I'm going to go first, make the Shizuku, and then set 2 cards face down, and then pass them back to my opponent. Now, during the end phase, I'm going to activate Jamming Waves, a card that I think that should be played as a 2-of inside of this deck, because it's just that powerful. I'm serious, guys. That card's pretty good for the deck. So I'm going to pass it back to Mr. Roberts. He's going to start off with Spiral Resort, and then he's going to use Resort's effect to search a card from his deck to his hand. It's going to be Spiral Tough. So he's going to start to try to break my board. And since he has Resort on the field, Window Anchor isn't as powerful as I want it to be. He's going to call Spell. I'm going to reveal a Droll Logbird. And then he's going to Spiral he's going to Spiral Agent my monster, or my Spell the Trap card, which is an Afterburner. Use both of those monsters as a link summon for a Helix. I have the Ogre for the Helix. That is completely terrible for Mr. Roberts. He's going to lose his Helix, but then he's going to gain a monster from his deck to his hand, which is probably going to be a Spiral Drone. No, just back into a Spiral Tough. This Tough control is really tough to beat. Get it? Tough is really tough. He's going to follow up with one card face down, and I think that's going to be the rest of his turn, really trying to figure out how could I necessarily put a beat down on his deck, because I still don't have Darkness Diablos, a very important card to the strategy, and I'm telling you guys, that card is very important to this current Sky Striker deck. So I'm going to activate Jamming Waves to destroy his face down card, which is an evenly match. Oh my god, Mr. Roberts. You are going in for it. I'm going to make another Kagari, and unfortunately, I can't add Engage from my deck to my hand because I don't play a second Jamming Waves, and I really need to get over this Spyral Resort. So I use that resource to get over his Spyral Resort, and now he's looking down at some significant damage because our Kagari is pretty strong. I'm going to end main phase 2, make Shizuku, and then Shizuku's going to add a aerial space, or I can't add aerial space, it's going to add a window anchor from my deck to my hand. So now Mr. Roberts is going to follow up with his Spyral, I'm sorry, little guy, the Spyral Quick Fix, my apologies, Quick Fix back into his Big Red, and I'm going to activate Window Anchor to take control of his Spyral Sleeper and negate its effects. So no effects for you, and I get to negate your effects. He's looking at his Quick Fix. I don't think there's much he can do about this. He's going to use his Quick Fix to make a Link Karibo, and that's pretty much it. I'm going to return his Spyral Helix to his side of the field. And look where I returned it, guys. So even if he is able to use its effects, it doesn't even matter. The arrows are pointing down into the furthest. It's the worst place you can put the Spyral Helix. Next, I'm going to follow up with the Engage. And Engage is going to add a monster from my deck to my hand, and as well as draw me, or I'm sorry, a Afterburner from my deck to my hand, and as well as draw me an additional card. And that's why Engage is so powerful with the Pot of Greed of the deck. Cards like Imperial Order, Anti-Spell Fragrance, and even Curse Seal of Forbidden Spell, watch out for that mystery card because that's what it's going to be, are completely dominant against this deck because it really needs that Engage. Now I'm going to use the Kagari to run over the Spyral Double Helix, and I hope that this video has given you guys some insight on the Sky Striker deck, or on how necessarily it operates. You guys might not see a build like this. You guys might see a hybrid build, maybe Sky Striker Trickstar, Sky Striker Spyral, but now you know how the Sky Striker cards work and how you can counter against them. What are some really awesome cards to counter against them? He's going to follow up with Tough, and then Tough's effect is going to, is it going to get it right? It's going to get it right. He's going to destroy the Kagari, and now he's going to possibly use both of his monsters. No, he's going to activate another Big Red to spell summon Helix back to his side of the field. And then he's going to lose it to an infinite impermanence. That Helix effect is going to be lost again. Really not trying to let him get his Helix into his master plan, and his master plan to search a Spyral Trap card, and then starting to link off and combo off with this deck. I really don't want any of that to happen. So now, Jesse's in a pretty tough position. Mr. Roberts is going to go ahead and link summon again into a Nightmare Phoenix. Phoenix effect is going to discard to destroy my other face down. And here's where it's a misplay. It's not. It is because you know, in my head I'm not thinking that I'm going to draw what I need, but I use the Twin Twisters to hit the Big Red, and I actually come to regret that a little later because I should have known the top card of my deck because I don't, or I do. He used Tough effect. So I should have known what was happening, and I should have known, okay, I don't need to use Twin Twisters. But in my head, I'm thinking, freak, I have to get rid of this Spyral Helix, and it can't be destroyed by battle. So how am I going to get rid of it? But nonetheless, it works out. I'm reading his Nightmare Unicorn, thinking if I need to make a Nightmare Unicorn specifically in this deck. And I'm going to follow up with a board of my own. I'm going to use Hornbit, and I'm going to chain Window Anchor, so I want to stop right there. Both of those cards can be used at the same time. You can activate one and then chain the other one because I still can fulfill the conditions of me not having any monsters on the field. So yes, I do get to control this monster, and I get to special summon a token to my side of the field. I'm going to use the token for the Shizuku, reluctantly, and then I'm going to summon Brandis Sky Striker Ace Ray. And keep in mind, guys, I have no more Sky Striker cards in my deck. I'm going to use the Borreload to take his monster, and then I'm going to use the Phoenix to attack directly. No, I'm thinking. Yeah, I think I'm going to follow up with that. I really don't think I have much of a choice. I was trying to make the Borreload in my main monster zone, but there's no way I can do it. I'm going to attack him for 1900 damage, and then in my turn, and this is the great thing about Borreload Dragon. This is why I love Borrel Boy. He's a 3000 untargetable monster, and we're both really deep into the grind game, so his resources are probably as limited as mine. seeing that I don't have any more Brandish or Sky Striker Link monsters, but he doesn't really have any more double helixes, and I don't think he has a way to get over my Boro Boy unless he makes a Boro Boy himself, and he's went through quite a few of his resources himself. So he's going to go ahead and tough. He's going to destroy my Phoenix, and then he's going to pass his turn, reading the Boro Boy, seeing if that there's any way he can get past this monstrosity of a card. Is there? Nope, not this turn. I'm going to activate Terraforming into my aerial space, and I got an interesting plan. I'm going to use Boro Boy to attack into the tough to get it to my side of the field, and then I'm going to activate the aerospace to get rid of the tough, or to potentially get rid of the tough. It doesn't because I don't add a Sky Striker card. And then I'm going to go ahead and pass my turn back to him. Mr. Roberts is thinking about what he can do. I don't think there's a thing he can do. This looks like game. Gonna draw my turn. He shows me the gamma. It's game. Thank you guys so much for watching another segment. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, if you guys want to see those deck profiles, I left cards inside of the video, as well as I'm gonna leave them in the comment section. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and are having a great day as I am. Please like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, enjoy. I'll catch you guys on my Discord.